Caleb Rogers. Go ahead with the first question.
Caleb, I guess, what's it mean and how excited are you for this last opportunity to play at Texas Tech?
I think it's a really cool full circle moment for sure. Going back to Memphis, I was a part of that team that won that bowl game, and just remembering that team and like the things that we went through and how we finished that year, just being so close as we were, feeling like we had such a tight culture at the end of the year, like that is what really like launched us into like Joey, like the best way I think it could have been. And so now to go back again and feel like I have another chance to launch the program forward for the future, I think it's perfect. I'm excited.
Will, how excited are you for your first start to come in the Liberty Bowl?
No doubt. I'm extremely excited. Just an opportunity, like Caleb said, to further the program. Coming in my first year, this is an incredible opportunity. Not many people get this. And so it's a huge blessing, but also I have to give a huge shout out to all my coaches who've given me this opportunity and also developed me to be able to come into this opportunity with confidence and the ability to have the trust of my teammates and be able to go out there and help us win.
How much can you draw on that TCU game and the few reps that you got against North Texas and West Virginia just going into this one? It's not your first rodeo as a quarterback in the Power 5.
Right, a lot. Just going back from watching that TCU game the day after and watching the TCU game on weekends since then when I've had time when I'm not prepping for a game, just being able to learn from those experiences, good and bad, and treat them for what they're worth and be able to prepare myself to be in the moment for next week.
Everybody says it seems like you don't leave the facility and you just love tape, love football. I guess, could you explain what led to that and how you grew to love the game growing up?
Yeah, growing up, me and my older brothers, I've got two older brothers, Dallin and Reed, and we always played tackle football in the backyard. And I mean, that physicality of football I always loved, the grind, getting itchy in the back grass, just running around getting sweaty. That was what taught me to love the game. And then just getting here and having coaches that pour into you and great facilities, weight room, film room, hot tub, cold tub, things like that. I mean, why not be great?
How many hours do you think you spend around the facility on a day-to-day?
12.
Well, I guess, okay, 12 hours. I guess, how much do you feel like you can accomplish on a day-to-day? Like, what does your daily routine look like when you're up here at the facility?
Yeah, so right now I get up at 4:30, and by about 5:30 I'm up here. And day to day, sometimes it changes based off of what I need, I feel like I need more film or more body work. So today it was like, well, I want to get my body ready for practice. So I got up here, and for about an hour or two, I was just working on my body. And then the training room opened, got in the training room, then got with coach and watched film. Then we had our meetings, and we had practice.
Do you feel like that? Because it feels like anytime anybody ever talks about you, it feels like they have just a tremendous amount of respect for you already, and you're a freshman, I guess. Do you feel like the amount of time that you're dedicating yourself, do you feel like that plays into the amount of respect that it feels like they already have for you?
Right. It definitely does. That's not like my goal isn't to be respected by everyone. I would say it comes with the work. For me, the work helps me to be more confident, and that's my biggest driving factor is I want to be confident each day in practice, and I need to be confident for my team on game day so that we can win. So that's what the day-to-day grind means to me.
Caleb, you kind of look like a proud big brother sitting up there listening to you talk. So what's kind of your experience with Will, and like, just from the player teammate perspective, you're kind of the old head around here. He's the young guy coming in.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Taj in the sense of like he is very like he absorbs everything that you're like telling him. Like the reason that he said like all that the work that he puts in like gives him a lot of respect is because that's what we talk about here as being a pro. Like that's what a lot of our culture is built around. Like that's how you have to approach the game. And the people who do it before their time are the people who are really good. And the people who don't let, like, their time kind of passes them by. And so that's the thing about Will. Like, he's just ready for the opportunity. He's not scared of the moment. And that's because of what he's done internally. Like, I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. And I said, you can't hope to be successful so that you can be the person you want to be. You have to be the person you want to be so that you can be successful. Like, if you ride the ups and downs of life, like, you'll be inconsistent. And so I feel like Will is a great example. He's just the same person every day. Like, he overthrew the first ball today, and the second ball he came back and threw a, 50, 60-yard touchdown? Like, he's ready to go. And, like, it just inspires confidence into everybody, especially when it's in the quarterback position. So it's incredible to be around, and I'm excited to be a part of his first start.
You had kind of an adventurous return. Does the hype man for basketball? Your mic didn't work. You almost took out Gabby and her camera.
Yes, I did almost take down Gabby and her camera.
I mean, do you plan on sticking around long enough to do that again, or was that just kind of?
I mean, I'll be training in Dallas for the draft in January. So, yep, after the game, out of eligibility, on to the next. I'm excited.
Well, can you kind of just take us through a little bit of that experience with TCU halftime? You find out you're going in and trying to lead that game. What would you kind of take away from that going into this next one now?
The feeling of knowing that you're going to get that first snap. So when we went into halftime, I knew I was going to get the first snap going into the second half. And that's the feeling that I've been preparing for ever since the season ended and we found out that Barron wouldn't be with us. So that knowing that I'm going to get that first play in the game, that's the biggest thing that I take away from the TCU game of, like, okay, this is time.
I'm always curious on these. You felt it big enough in your life to put in your bio. You like driving? You like long drives? You that kind of guy?
I do enjoy driving around.
Is that just kind of a thing you do, driving around back roads and all that? I
just I don't know.
It's always on that bike. Driving around campus, too. Everyone's got bikes. Will Hammond's always on that bike.
But you're thinking about football when you're driving around, right?
Yes, sir. Or call family.
What is, speaking of your hours that everybody talks about so much, I remember seeing you up here on Friday night in the Sports Performance Center after a tech track meet, like in January or February. What's like the latest you've been up? What's the latest you've been up here as a facilities?
Probably like one or two. Usually, I mean, that was probably on like a night after like a game maybe.
Yeah.
But normally I try and go to sleep earlier, like before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. When you are up here though, is it primarily structured or is it? I think I want to go up to the facility and work on this, or how structured is the time that you spend up here on a voluntary basis?
Completely structured. I'd say I plan out every day the night before. So each day is like, I kind of have like a list of things at the end of the day that I want to do the next day. I'll kind of put those down. And something I've actually been really trying to hone in on recently is like, now I plan my days, but now like actually like maximize each moment and feel like I'm really enjoying the time that I'm spending. Because if you're not enjoying where you're at, then you're not going to be happy. Now I'm happy, but I'm trying to enjoy it even more. So.
On the, going back to the TCU game in the second half, obviously you started out hitting however many passes in a row, and then I guess kind of went through a little bit of a cold spell. How did you kind of evaluate your performance and how TCU adjusted to you within that second half?
Right. So the biggest thing I took away from that game is how do I get to what's next, right? So we had 2 touchdown scoring drives, and then the following 3 drives after that, we didn't put up any points. Now we had a field goal on the third. But my ability, that's something I've really focused on in practice, is like, okay, I have a really good rack of 4 plays. Okay, what's next? If the next 4 plays later on in practice aren't good, then what's the point? Like, you have to be able to maximize the present moment. And so that's something I really honed in on, of just like, let's be great right now. Let's really be in the present moment, and let's go win right now, because that's all that matters is the present moment.
Will, in that North Texas game, the throw that really stood out to me was when you looked off the middle field safety and hit the glance to Jalen in the high red zone. Could you walk me through that play? And I was just curious if you actually were planning or trying to look off that safety. And he
Yeah,
bit.
no doubt. So North Texas, they ran the 3-3 stack, right? We've played multiple teams throughout the year who ran that. And on that particular play, they were having their 3 high safeties, and we had kind of like a smash concept to the 3-by-1 side. Jalen was on the post route, and I felt like I had good leverage for Jalen on the post route, and I just knew I needed to move that safety a little bit. So I threw my eyes left a little bit just to move him, made the throw, and Jalen made a great catch. So,
Thanks, Will.
yeah.
Will, who on the team, I guess, out of the really just any of the receiving room or tight ends or anybody, I guess, who do you find that you're throwing the most to in the facility just when you want to come up here and throw?
Right, Coy and CD, definitely 2 veteran guys who I feel like I connect with the most, and those 2 guys work just as hard as anybody else in the building, if not harder. And I feel like I really connect with those 2 guys because, like a lot of these seniors who are getting ready to go to the league, they want to go to the league when it's their time as well. And it's my job to help them get there. So.
Only have one mic today.
I was going to say, what stood out about Arkansas, maybe surprised you, circle, point of emphasis, both of you, before this bowl game?
So, I mean, I've heard a lot of questions, seen a lot of stuff, people like talking about the portal. But, I mean, I think the team plays hard, regardless. I think they have a good culture, and I think that whoever plays is going to play hard. So, I mean, it's been a little tough, trying to watch film of who is going to and isn't going to be out there. But, I mean, we do know either way that they're preparing just like us to come and win. So, I mean, we got to be ready.
No doubt. I think they've got a great defense. Obviously, we don't really watch their offense, but I think their defense is great, especially their defensive front. They've got a lot of big D tackles and edge rusher guys. So that's a big part of our preparation.
Joe, I grew up a Woo Pig Suey fan, so how's that kind of fueling your fire, if it is, ahead of?
I mean, like, he brought it up once. I mean, I love Joey, so I want to play for Joey, like, on its own, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, playing Arkansas, I mean, I think I just kind of enjoy playing people new and going new places. Like, that's a great part about football. Like, new venues, like, staying at a good or bad hotel. Like, I think it's always kind of just adds something to, like, something new, a new experience. And so, excited to play them, for sure.
Yeah, like Caleb said, Coach McGuire did mention it once, so there's a fuel of like, okay, let's go get it for young Coach McGuire growing up an Arkansas fan. So, yes, sir.
All good? All right, thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you, guys.